Nearly 50 people are now charged in a $250 million fraud scheme. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Kelsey Carlson.
And I'm Amy Hawker. This money was from federal COVID-19 funding. It was supposed to feed youth in need, but the charges say that didn't happen. Rob Olson joins us live from Minneapolis. Rob, this just seems unbelievable.
Yeah, and going on for quite a long time. You know, Feeding Our Future first caught the state's attention in the summer and fall of 2020 when they were claiming just large numbers of children being fed under this federal funding. Well, they tried to stop the funds. Feeding Our Future sued, claiming discrimination. A judge ordered them to continue being funded. It then went to the federal authorities, and now after a long investigation, these massive indictments.
Hello, family, and welcome back to another episode of Journey to Harmony. I'm your host, Richard Harmon. Today, I want to come to you and talk to you about the massive amount of fraud that went down during the pandemic. We all know that the amount of money that was spent, somewhere north of $6 or $7 trillion, gave birth to a crime wave of financial fraud that this country has never seen before. In this particular video, we have a nonprofit director, Amy Bach, who ended up leading a company called Feeding Our Future. The company was supposed to be buying and feeding the youth of the nation, the youth of the Twin Cities. They were scheduling and saying that they were delivering massive amounts of food, 2,000 to 6,000 children during the pandemic. When come to realize this was all a fraud, they were just making up numbers and spending the money on whatever it is that they desired. I'm starting a series here, just kind of following and going back in terms of some of the crime and some of the oversight that was done, some of the massive amounts of just waste that was given out during this particular time frame. And this is one of the greatest of them all. $250 million in total was swindled, and only 50 has been returned. Let's go ahead and watch this video. The first time joining, please hit that like button. Consider subscribing to the channel, and here we go.
Feeding Our Future is at the core of this fraud.
Feeding Our Future, operated out of this Twin Cities office building, is a nonprofit sponsor for free meal sites of the federal child nutrition program. And when COVID hit, accused now of becoming the center of the largest pandemic fraud in the U.S.
They were running a scheme, not a child nutrition program.
U.S. Attorney Andy Lugar announcing federal indictments against 47 people, including Feeding Our Future founder Amy Bach. Charges include conspiracy, wire fraud, money laundering, and illegal kickbacks. Accused of, under relaxed COVID regulations, opening more than 200 free meal sites across Minnesota, each site claiming to serve between 2,000 and 6,000 children every day. The U.S. Attorney says they submitted fake rosters filled with children who don't exist.
Only about 1 or 2% of the names in most of these sites matched the school rosters. These children were simply invented.
The alleged fraud adding up to $250 million. Defendants buying homes in Minnesota, resort properties in Turkey and Kenya, luxury vehicles and jewelry. So far, $50 million has been recovered.
The subjects in this case weren't interested in feeding our future. They were interested in feeding their own gluttony.
All right, guys, I'm not sure about you guys, but when I watch this really makes my blood boil. So we overall are dealing with problems in terms of inflation. We're dealing with problems right now in terms of the cost of everyday life going up, where we're dealing with just a host of issues right now. Our government seems like they're incapable of stopping themselves from the spending spree that they're on. They are spending on the migrant crisis. They're spending on Ukraine. They're spending on everything and everyone except for those who are truly in need. And as we watch this, we see once again about how money is just being tossed aside and mostly to go into people's bank accounts. Again, I can't reiterate enough. The pandemic brought crime wave in terms of people coming in and spending money in a way that has never been done before in this particular country. We've also seen gangs and organized crime get involved in this particular process, whether it's applying for fake loans, whether it's Medicare fraud. there's just so much that has happened. And this particular group is so sad because they were saying that they were providing for children who were in need, children who are dealing with everyday issues in terms of having their family be able to feed and to provide themselves with food during a time of economic downturn and economic crisis. These people are facing some serious issues, and even still to this day, she's still fighting the case. Amy Bach currently is in court, still working on what is it that she's going to be focused on in that time period and how long she will be serving her particular sentence. I think right now that the life of those on Instagram, in time past, I think people had a smaller way of dealing with crime, but because of the widespread nature of social media and being able to see what lifestyle people are living, I think it has affected people in a strange way, that people who once would get up and go to work are now just looking for any way possible they can swindle and steal money from, whether it's from the government, from the people, or all of the above. And what's happening right now is that we're seeing more and more people want easy, quick money because of the lifestyle and because of what is it that they desire. We'll see exactly how this plays out. Our country is currently $34 trillion in debt. The nation is facing some serious problems as we're being, hounded by inflation. We're being hounded by rising costs of just everyday nature. And how exactly does this play out? How much money will be returned? And will this actually help to negate the cost of everyday prices rising? I'm sure it will not, but something that those who are interested in watching can see. What are your thoughts? Please comment below. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining. Have a good day.